Gestapo 7. This is Underground World News Live. Good evening. And thank you, Lindsay, for becoming a monthly supporter in the coffee. Appreciated right out the gate. Welcome to the show, everyone. I want to thank everyone that shares the stream. And thank you, Boomer, for the feedback. Everybody, Meat Puppet. Good to see everybody. Bones Jones, E. Fitz, all the mods in the house, Deanne, Ray. And I seen your comment, Yellow Dog, that diesel was up 30 cents. The flooring supplies and all that stuff was up, would you say 20%, just here recently. Thank you, Kenny, Flipping the House, Fenlo, Tony, Legends, David Granite, Hoodie Ross, Pixie. Good to see everybody. Granite, Ava. Yeah, much love, everybody. Got quite a few things to cover, but I think the most important right at the gate here is to just get to this weather. We got some crazy setups that are happening across the Midwest, right over the New Madrid fault line, if you will. It seems to be the bullseye center of all this madness. And that's a lot of pressure over that zone, too. But we've got tornadoes dropping out everywhere. We had 26 tornado warnings here within this past hour that were all running kind of simultaneously together. It jumped up to 28 last I had seen. I follow all kinds of guys, storm chasers, things of that nature. And I'm going to tell you, this is a very active one. This storm system, I have had people tell me they have felt these strong winds all the way from the coast of Florida up to the Great Lakes. Something abnormal is happening. I tell you all the time, I truly believe that this is a weapon when it comes to the weather. They devastate so much. They take out so many people's property, their lives, everything else with these storms, the fires. We know that they can cloud seed. We know that they can steer hurricanes. We know that they can whip up tornadoes. We know that they can energize storm systems. It's fairly easy, to be honest with you. Ionospheric heaters, they're all over the place. Jim's got a good site out there that covers them. And he's got a lot of them listed all over the place. One of the most famous weather manipulation stations out there is HARP up in Canada. But this is really real deal stuff out here. And I feel they don't let a crisis go to waste. They're not going to let a good setup go to waste. Been watching this for too long. It is that time of year, though. You're going to get these energies whipping up kind of naturally out there. So it doesn't take much to put things in motion, let's put it that way. And we've got them coming down all over the place. If you take a look here, this was the weather look for today. Right now, I believe Western Kentucky, Paducah, Kentucky is getting hammered. All the line of tornadoes and the main convergence of the storm was folding in on Paducah, Kentucky, in Western Kentucky. And this was right before I went live. We have tornadoes that have been witnessed on the ground in multiple different areas. I'm going to go through here. Take this stuff serious because these locations they're talking about include eastern Arkansas, western Tennessee, southeast Missouri, western Kentucky, southern Illinois, and northwest Mississippi. Just to name a few. You can see right here on this one. Blow this up. We've got 26 on this shot. In terms of all the tornadoes kicking up here. And you can see this line right here in the middle. You can see they're kicking up out here near Nashville. They've already passed through this area into Bowling Green, Kentucky. This is headed for Lexington. So Lexington, Kentucky, all my people in Kentucky, Like, you need to stay on top of this. They are coming right at you. Lexington, Louisville, Cincinnati. It's all coming your way. You could see right there, the storms had passed through Paducah, but this back main line was all going to converge and then pound Paducah again. This is a nightmare situation as we head into the evening and it becomes dark. Just northeast of Nashville there, Handy says. Yeah, it's going to work its way right on up toward the Great Lakes. This system firing. The wind has been getting pushed up from the south all day. Really strong winds that are still continuing right now into the night. A line is forming here that's just setting off all these tornadoes. Problem is, as nightfall comes into motion here, you're not going to see a lot of these funnel cloud setups. We're really going to have to rely on the radar indicated information that picks up on the wedges and unfortunately any debris. We've already seen that today. Huge debris plumes kicked up. You can see them on the weather maps. I'm going to scroll up here and show you this is tornado emergency issued for parts of northwest Arkansas. Damaging tornado. You can see right there a monster in the offing. It was on the ground, a part of the system that we're talking about right now. Silver Rambler, thank you. I appreciate that to the fullest. Callie says, strong winds in South Florida now. That's crazy because I got people hollering at me from Space Coast, Florida. You know who you are out there today that said the same thing. Crazy winds coming off. And look, I was looking at the weather. I pulled up the weather map, weather.com, and I went down there. I was looking around, and it was crazy. It was on average around 20-mile-an-hour winds coming up off the ocean, and all this is pushing north. This is going through all the states. People from every state have been talking about this. Like I said, all the way to the Great Lakes, all the way up into Michigan. So, these tornadoes, no joke. You can see this is a monster right here, the touchdown. And we're talking 26 to 28 tornado warnings. Folks, you got to pay attention. You got to heed the signs. Here is another one. This is showing Arkansas, and you can just see, all the things lighting up inside of it and all the debris. It just starts taking out all types of stuff. This was a monster. Thus far, I haven't got confirmation on the range of a lot of these tornadoes, whether they're EF1, 2, 3, things like that. We're just getting the reports and the clips like you're seeing right here of monsters on the ground just taking out everything in its path. So again, man, if you can hear my voice and you think these things are heading your way tonight, I'm going to take cover, get in the basement, and have a plan. You would hope that overnight, as the sun isn't there to energize everything, that all of this would start to die down. But at this point, it seems anything can happen. And Boomer, thank you for the coffee. Much love, and I appreciate that to the fullest. So, the weather messing up everybody's day. Like, nobody could do anything because they got to stress on the high winds and tornadoes. And the rain and the flooding that's also going to be accompanying the storm system, apparently. They're talking about catastrophic amounts of rain that have came down in other areas. If you guys are seeing something crazy out there, let me know. Yeah, man, it's gotta take these things serious. It is that time of year where they're going to start to sprout up. But this line in this box, the main thing of concern, they're saying right here, it's worse than it looks, with many tornadoes touching down, and the rainfall has been called catastrophic. So, many flights in different areas that are getting walloped by this, getting delayed, canceled or pushed back. Now here is the frontal boundary, as I said earlier. This is from an hour ago. It's likely pounding Paducah now. Paducah's sitting right up here where my mouse is, and it already got hit by some of the front line in some storms. But they're talking like the whole train that's firing here was coming right in for Paducah. This is just a heads up, man. This is going to work its way up the river. It seems it's going to follow the Ohio River, heading right towards Cincinnati. So, like, everybody out there, please take this serious. This is going to, as you can see, it's already rolling through many major areas. Memphis getting hammered. Jackson. Tornado warnings all over the board here. Outside of Nashville. Little Rock. Just dozens all around. Maybe Texarkana is coming out of the woods out of this right now. That region, the back end of this, with nightfall. But again, with it dark out there, a heads up, man. This is a tornado emergency in motion right now. I mean, just look at this. Look at this. This is crazy. And what you don't want to see at night. So I can't stress it enough, man. I don't want to see people lose their lives. Unfortunately, I come to find out every now and then that just that happens. When I find out people that watch the show or tune in have passed away out there, just I try to get the word out. We try to save as many lives as possible, but check your local weather. If you're in the path of any of this, man, heed the warning signs. And if you got to pack up and go, if you feel safer getting up and leaving just to be safe, then maybe you should. Get up and go to a relative's or friend's house, someone that's got a basement, someone that may be in a safer place. I know many people are just going to have to ride this out where they're at. And those that are fortunate enough to have a basement, that's one thing. For people out there in trailers and everything else, this is going to be devastating to see in the morning. So just expect that a lot of these places have been hit pretty hard. Because we're already hearing that. Here's another monster on Fox crossing the road right here.
All right. It makes me nervous when the speed pauses like that.
Just crossed the road right there.
Wow.
You can see how the street signs as they start to, just cross the road.
He was close.
How fast is this tornado moving?
On that one.
50
These
miles
storm
an hour?
chasers, man, some of them out there getting super close and putting their life on the line. Okay, so that's what I had on my X feed. Kicked out. Follow me over there. Make sure you're following me on X, because when stuff's breaking and all that, and let me get a quick update. And as you can see on the screen, Val Kilmer, dead at 65. Wanted to start off tonight talking about that until we seen the tornadoes picking up. But let me check the feeds here real quick just for any updates. We got any other immediate warnings? I want to be able to relay them real quick. Got plenty of tornado watches, as I'm seeing here, all across northern Kentucky, central into Indiana and into Ohio, just as I said. We've got a few clips here of other tornadoes, wedge tornadoes, smaller, skinnier ones, but still destructive, it seems. Bay, Arkansas, getting hit. And again, it seems right now, 3 minutes ago, Paducah, you have 10 minutes before a possible tornado approaches from the southwest right now. This is fresh, okay? This is fresh. I told you, the way everything was looking, Paducah, if anybody is in that area that can hear my voice, you got any friends, any family, it looks like a big one's about to roll through there. It is dark there now. This is not good. Again, this whole line moving up the Ohio River and toward the Cincinnati area. I just don't have a good feeling about this one. So, everybody please, again, be safe out there. That's all I can say and stress at this point. Because I do know of people that have already told me that they're in their basements. And people, I'm going to check back on this. I'm going to try to check in on this and keep updated with this as the stream goes by, because this is going to be an ongoing thing. If you guys get any updates in your area, anything like that, let me know. If they got a tornado warning in your area, please drop it in the comment section. Let us know what's up. And please, most of all, be safe. Seek shelter. Get in a safe spot. So, going to shift gears, and as I said, I'm going to update on the weather here throughout the stream as I see things coming through. And yes, Hollywood legend Val Kilmer dead at 65. A shock to some. Of course, anytime somebody passes away, everyone's like, what happened? And he is legendary when it comes to acting. I mean, in Top Gun, he was Batman. Tombstone. I mean, he's been in a lot of classics, man. Legendary actor. No longer with us. He died of pneumonia. He previously fought a battle, they say, with throat cancer and recovered after, I guess, trying to do some therapies. But he ended up getting pneumonia. That set in, and that took his life. So, I know he was a smoker, which seemed to be like a heavy smoker, and all that, but good actor, no longer with us. And again, all these legends to check out. A lot of the people from the 80s, man, big stars, dead and gone already. It just makes me think of so many. Go on and on, but yeah. Val Kilmer, latest Hollywood legend, pass. And I gotta throw an update out there here in terms of these recalls. It's getting ridiculous. Mind you, I've talked about recalls here because metal was in the food, because wood was in the food. Different contaminants. Now, we've got 200,000 pounds of egg product that is potentially containing bleach. It's all being recalled. So I always ask at this point, how did it get in there? But at this point, who knows? Who knows what's going on? But yeah, containing bleach, just so you know, and you can see it's the Bob Evans Better in Eggs, Egg Beaters, cage-free original, if it sounds familiar. I'm going to check up on this. Take it back. You just never know these days. We're lucky they give us these recalls and these heads up, to be honest with you. Because otherwise, I'm telling you, every day people just eating the stuff. They're just eating the stuff. It's not till it causes sickness or something like that that it becomes an issue, usually. That's what garners an attention. Alright, I'm going to shift gears here. Xiaomi and their shares here. This is a Chinese electric vehicle manufacturer, if you don't know. Their shares dump after one of their sedans that's supposed to be self-driving or intelligent assisted driving, it crashes, leaving multiple people dead. And, I mean, this is what can happen with any of them. I wouldn't trust none of it. I would want a human behind the wheel at all times. I'd hate to look over and see a vehicle on the highway that, because some of these places, like in China, they'll set up certain lanes that you can't drive in. It's only for the autonomous vehicles. And these autonomous vehicles, will say it's a slow lane. And these autonomous vehicles will go about their business, transporting people like taxis and things like that, just different locations. But to look over and see nobody behind the wheel, no thank you. I don't even want to be on the road next to anything like that. And a lot of times when I think of these things, it reminds me of the Obama movie that they released, where it showed all the electric vehicles getting hacked. And then they were all piling up in one area on the highway. I see that happening. When it does happen, you'll know that they telegraphed it. You'll know who was behind it in the end, huh? But I don't trust this stuff. It's one thing to have luxuries and this and that, but it's another to just put your life into the hands of AI. I'll pass. I'll pass on that. I'd rather just drive. Yeah. And we've known for a while now that vehicles can be hacked. We've seen it. It takes me back to Paul Walker and many other instances where individuals were killed in car crashes that were mighty suspicious. And, yeah, that's definitely a weapon. All right, let's get on with this Trump Liberation Day. That's what today was. The stocks, a lot of things, tanking out, puking. To get a recap on a few things. Let's start off here with what to date was dubbed first off and why. Well, this whole name of Liberation Day and all that came from Trump. And to be honest, everybody was on edge. Companies, markets, governments, all on edge, expecting markets to kind of dump off. And that's exactly what we saw. And this is one of the downside things that I warned about in the very beginning about tariffs. That if it depends on how they roll it out, the backlash and everything else. I will have to say this. The way he's done this today, he keeps saying he's very nice. And I want you to realize that he hasn't bullied nobody in this situation. He came out slick with it. I'll give him that. He came out super slick. That way no one can run their mouth back and say that, we're going to retaliate with something worse. Because when you look at the numbers, and I'll show this here in just a second, it says a lot. But these are the 5 top industries impacted by all this. Motor vehicles at the top. Foreign auto. Pharmaceuticals, big pharma stuff. Medicines, which isn't good. Because everybody needs medicines out there. That ain't good. Oil and gas. Everybody's got to travel and get around. And then motor vehicle parts, which goes along with the number 1 motor vehicles. And then you've got computer equipment at the end. And in this day and age, everywhere is running off a computer or is connected to it. Yeah. So, also, let me see if it shows this again up here. Look at this ad that they're showing here. Wake up, Warren. Big tech is the cheapest in 10 years. Is somebody throwing a signal at you? Yeah. Why would this be the case? Why would one of the world's richest men and most legendary stock movers be still sitting in the sidelines in cash, not buying nothing? Big tech cheapest in 10 years. You ain't touching it. And they're making comments like this, like, wake up, Warren. Like, I think it's deeper than that. I think something huge is about to happen. It's pretty obvious. Look at that one. Yeah, that's just a lot. Mr. Neuralink, Elon, that's where he's going to take all this stuff. It's what he wants. To blend man with machine. Yeah, they'll make you the world's richest man when you promote that. And when you promote all this other stuff. The Zio agenda. So, let me go to this next one. It lays out a lot of what he did here. And this goes into effect April 5th. So April 5th is going to be another big day. You can see the markets rocked and shocked. And this is what it all means. Right here. He's rolled out pretty much a 10% reciprocal tariff. But here's the thing. Most of these countries already had 10% tariffs on our country, which is crazy. This is why he keeps running around saying we've been getting ripped off and all this. He's right about some of this stuff. I'll give him that. He is business savvy, okay? But he was smooth with this move because when you go down the list here, you may be shocked to see other countries got huge tariffs on us, and he didn't even match all of them. So tariffs that are charged to the United States is on the left, and then reverse on the right, what he just laid out. Okay, so Argentina, they just got hit with the 10 because they had a 10 on us. Australia the same. But when you look at Botswana and Bangladesh, they hit us with 74% tariffs. Trump hit both of them with only 37%. He kept saying he's going to be nice. Brazil got matched 10 for 10. And that's only because these countries had them on us to begin with. They had 10% on us to begin with. Cambodia, 97%. So Trump hits them with the 49%. And I'm sure he'll crank these things up to apply pressure for people that don't listen. Now look, China has us at 67%, and he only hit them with 34%. It's very interesting. Okay? The whole list here, you go down, you'll see, when you skim it, that nowhere did he impose a tariff greater on another country than what they have on us. Laos, Madagascar, 95, 93%. So he put 48 and 47% on. A lot of the 10%ers just got matched 10 for 10. And even New Zealand at 20%, they just got a 10 slapped on them. Which they got off easy. We think about it there. They got one of the better deals out of everybody here. It just goes on and on and on here. Every single country you can think of. Taiwan even had tariffs on a 64%. He hit them with 32. So he evened. He's kind of like evening up the playing field here. He's like, okay, you guys were hitting us, and we were not hitting you for all this time. That's going to bring in a chunk. But again, when it comes to the tariffs, who's paying for it? The consumer. And that's what's hurting everybody. That's why there was folks in the chat just here earlier saying that supplies and everything are already up. Diesel's up. All this other stuff. Well, unfortunately. Watch if lumber and wood spike at any time and start to run, the housing market will lift. It's what it did last time. It's been some years now. It had a good pullback. With all this stuff going kind of haywire, I think anything can happen. Any market can pop right now. I think metals are going to pop. Precious metals. I think it's already begun. Look at that here in a second. China, in return, and look, remember, they had a higher tariff on us already. So he didn't even get even with them. And guess what? They retaliate. They restrict local firms from investing in the United States. Yep. So, look, China, if you don't know, is on a warpath to be the leader of the world. They want to be. They've made all the moves to be militarily, economically. If the United States fell, it would be to their greatest advantage. You know, EMP hit us, lights went out, something crazy. Markets got hit. Banks get hit. Bunch of cyber attacks. You know, they got 1 million people hiked in this country. You know, own land right next to our bases. Like, this is as big of a setup as you can get. Like 9/11 style. You don't have to worry about them jumping out of planes. Like out of the movies. They're here. They walked right across the border. They came right on in. That's the reality of it. And they're hiding in the bushes, in the shadows. Out of sight, out of mind. They're all here, man. They're making a big deal out of the gang members, which is right to do because there's murderers and all this other stuff, but there's never a word of the Chinese when it comes out of Homan and his ICE teams. Like, there never is. So, the tariff game, it begins. And tonight, I guess, while they had everybody in session, senators, they passed a bipartisan bill here. And they're saying that they're going to prepare 500% uranium and oil tariffs if Russia doesn't negotiate. So, they're now throwing threats out there that huge tariffs are going to rain down on Russia if they don't want to negotiate. On the other side of the coin, they got Russia coming to town. I'll get to that here in a bit. Now, is Trump's plan working? Is this whole plan here for tariffs working? Because the idea was to force places to come in, and gosh, Cash Hart, thank you once again. You come in. Legendary, man. It blows me away. So Trump's plan is to get businesses here. To make them come to America, which is a smart thing to do. Our manufacturing has been very, like, nothing. It's draped off. China took over. And we need to get a big chunk of that back. So this is how he's trying to do. Saying, hey, if you want to bring your business here and set up shop in America, then all these tariffs, all this stuff goes away. So, I don't know. Not everyone's falling for it, though. Not everyone's like, all right, we're going to come. We're going to open up shop. Some will, some are, but not everybody. Especially China and anything connected to China, if you ask me. Now, look, we got a lot of things we're still waiting on here from this administration. I can't stand these clowns right at the gate. But what's up with Fort Knox? Okay? How many times we got to say it? How long do we got to wait? Really? Honest question. What's going to happen if it's empty? I got all kinds of questions. Even if they show us. Like, do you believe the footage? Like, I don't know. Like, it just seems like there's something big behind this. And right after the stories broke, they never went. They were like, oh yeah, we're going with cameras. Well, what happened in the following days and weeks? What's happened? We witnessed COMEX make announcements on not being able to ship loads of gold and silver on shorts. Then we seen the United States bringing in gold from London in record amounts. All of a sudden. Why? To put where? Questions start to rise. Well, now German politicians are worried about their gold in our vaults. You see, how long can this go on? Like, you got us out here anticipating the moment. Now others are starting to freak out. And, I mean, if I was Germany, I'd be freaking out anyway at this point if you had gold in our U.S. vaults, because you're sitting on the other side of wars, on the other side of the front now. Like, you really want to push this war in Ukraine, France, Germany. It's like, if you want to do that, like, that's why we were pulling out of the whole NATO thing, the talk of it, UN, all of it, leaving them on their own. Like, if they want to chalk up beef with America, what happens? Does America keep their gold? Well, America and London are notorious for doing this. Don't forget, when Venezuela went back and said, give me my gold, they said, nope, you ain't getting it. What are you going to do about it? This is why they do it, so they can control the world, so they can control all the countries and these players. Because the only way that your money in your country is worth anything is if you back it by gold. And guess what you got to do? You got to send that gold to London, where they store it in their vaults. And when you do that, they'll let you play ball. But you have to play ball by their rules. And if you start to break their rules, you don't do what they want, like Maduro does and did, and many others, they'll be like, you're done. Like, we're sanctioning you and we're keeping your gold. It's crazy. It's huge blackmail. I mean, look what they did to Russia. They stole all of Russia's money, American money, out of American banks. They took it. They stole it. So that's going to have to be a part of negotiations when it comes between Trump and them. It's just going to have to be. You don't think they're not going to want their money back? So German politicians starting to freak out. They're like, where's the gold, man? And I'm like, hey, yo, we're saying the same thing over here. We all want to see it. I mean, what do we got to do? How loud do we got to scream? Whose attention do we got to get? How many bones are they going to throw to us to chew on? Like, let's get this on with. Like, it's been weeks now. The same with all of it. I mean, you ask me, the JFK thing was a flop. Absolutely. Just ridiculous. They thought they would get away with pushing something huge out there with so many pages just because they were all redacted, but it was all garbage material, pretty much. There's a few tidbits of things that you could glean out of it that you could say were interesting, but nothing huge. And they knew this. Same Pam Bondi that said the Epstein list is on her desk and all this, still won't cough nothing up. And keeps going on the airwaves on Fox News and all these other places, threatening everyone with threats, trying to act all hard. And I've noticed that some of these people, Alina Habba, Noam, they're sending these women into these places and putting hats on them, and they're walking in there acting like they're all in charge of everything. It's I don't know. I'm so sick of this puppet show. I see what they've done here full scale, and they've lulled the crowd into a hypnotic spell, so to speak. That's how I feel it. It is. It's wizards, witches, at the highest level, conducting black magic like you've never seen. These are huge operations that are going down. Huge rituals that are happening left and right in front of your face. And they have been ever since Blind 11. Keep it pushing. Hold on. I got to check the feed one time here. Just to make sure. I got to give it a good look here. Just to make sure there's no crazy catastrophic news popping off. Like to warn everyone that I can of what's going on here. Crazy storm system heading through the Midwest. Again, high winds, tornadoes. Just be on the lookout. Don't sleep on this one, for real. If it's coming your way, I would definitely have a plan and be on top of it. Alright, so here's some repercussions. Like I was saying, from Trump's moves. Canadians are just not going to come here no more. Some of them are planning to just protest not coming to the United States. And this is all against Trump. Because they're saying they're not for sale. And, I respect the sovereignty thing there, 100%, for all these different places. But Trump's dead serious about this stuff. Which is crazy. I mean, it's not a joke. He is 100% serious about Canada, about Greenland, all of it. So don't think he's kidding, or it's a joke, or it's just no. You're going to see in due time just how serious this stuff is. When I get to Greenland and the update there. First off, though, let's talk about these chatbots real quick. Which ones are collecting your data the most out there? It seems Gemini is. And by far, worse than anyone. I've never heard of Cloud. But there's Copilot that comes in here, then DeepSeek, then Chat, GPT, Perplexity, and then Grok at the bottom, which is good for Grok. But still, they're all, getting some form of data. But everything is at this point. The amount of data that a person's phone collects on them daily trumps a bunch of this stuff 10 times over. Tracking your every move, listening to everything that you're doing and logging it, and people just don't care. Tracking you wherever you go, to your dealer's house, and back to the house. People don't care. They'll take their phone with them when they rob a bank, and that alone will bust them. It's ridiculous. We're already in that world. People sometimes act like we're not. AI is just accelerating it, and it is scary. AI is scary, man. Especially when it comes to overseeing critical things and when it comes to military applications. It gets really scary. I'm not going to pull my X back up, but I do believe on my X feed I shared a clip today of somebody had put together a clip of Biden walking across the lawn and one of the robots. And the steps in the stride, I swear, they're identical. This is why people said before that that's not even, and they probably said, let's see how stupid these Americans are. They think it's a man wearing a mask. They don't even know it's a robot. It's all tied to that. Oh, it looks like it kicked out and back in. Hopefully everything is good. Lag out there for a second. 5x5, thank you. Deanne, looks like it came back pretty quick. E-Fish, hello, thank you all. Keep it pushing. We've got an alert because I don't know if you guys realize this, but it seems there was a scheme to funnel a lot of these illegals into certain job sectors, and one of them are American truck drivers, semi-drivers, that are hauling goods all across the country. Man, this thing reeks of a setup. Anyhow, they're saying that this is dangerous because these guys are out there right now hauling goods across the country, and you're talking about illegals that you just don't know nothing about. Some could be killers, rapists, all this stuff. Anyway, they are illegals. They're not here legally. They're not here on a work card or anything else. But they were funneled into this sector, and it emits it right here. the long-haul trucking sector. Unvetted migrants were funneled into it. Huh. Why would that be? This is a freaking setup. So you got all these goons. They get to shut down the highways or block everything. There's that many of them, I'm sure. This reeks of a setup, man. This isn't good, man. I don't like it. I don't like it. It's Trojan horse. At the same time, man, they're all over the place, and they're just admitting they're all over the industry. I could just imagine the chaos that they could create, like, controlled, like, on purpose. Start wrecking semis all over the place, jackknifing them on bridges, all this other stuff, just causing chaos. Because at this point, they're wanted by ICE. You've got ICE running around trying to catch some of these fools, and they're out here driving right by them in a semi. It's nuts. Because remember, when a majority of those job numbers came out, the truth of it, which was all a lie, we seen that a majority of it went to the migrants, not native-born Americans. It was going to the illegals coming in. It was all a scheme and a scam, man. So you know that's where a lot of them went, into the trucking sector. So if you see some crazy dude eyeballing you out of a semi somewhere, at this point, that's where a lot of them went. So and they're crisscrossing the country. You know how truckers do. They're all over the place. Check this one out. This is crazy. This is Elon Musk getting away with covering his tracks and the whole club. All right? Now, I've been doing this for a long time, right? So I've seen a lot of characters out here that no longer exist. And there are cats that throughout the years, especially on Twitter, I used to follow them and all this other stuff. They would track the flights of certain individuals. And there are teams of these type of people. That way, we knew the truth of what was going on. Like all these Al Gores and all this want to say this about a carbon footprint, but yet, you know, these guys are tracking them and they're flying around in their jets and they're dumping more carbon than anyone would in their lifetime, just in one flight. It's ridiculous. And it's a hypocrisy. So they were getting busted and called out on all this. Then Elon was getting called out left and right. And I seen this. I watched the whole war go down. I followed this guy that tracked and was calling Elon out. When Elon took over X, things came to a head. Because then Elon could finally delete this guy and get rid of him, which they did. He tried to pop back up with other accounts, but they've axed all of them. Anytime they try to pop up, they've tried to eliminate them. Because what Elon and them are saying is it's putting their life in danger. It's putting their life at risk. And this all started with Taylor Swift having stalkers, and these guys were posting the whereabouts and the flights and all this, and she made a big stink out of it saying, yo, and it could have been a righteous stink. She could have been saying it like, yo, I got stalkers that are finding me because you're posting on it. You know? If this is the case, then, you know, where does this go in terms of privacy? Where's the line? Any line? Do you apply this to the public, to everybody? Like, how, like, is everyone an equal here? Or are you better because you got money and you're famous? You see, yes, she can have a stalker and all this other stuff, but anybody could, right? Anybody could. The argument here is that the elite are covering their tracks in one fall swoop in the new FAA rule. Just let them. Like, how many of you out there own a private jet? I didn't think so. Okay, so it's a certain elite echelon class of people that do. And we know who this is. And a lot of it's part of the club. And the club wants to hide all the travel information from the public now. That's what they're doing. And some see that as, Just as a Yeah. Um, I'm going to tell you, the plane spotters and people on the ground and everything else, they're still going to get them. They're still going to track them. They're still going to know where they're at. You watch. You watch. Let's jump into the Hitler files. Nazi files, whatever you want to call them here. All of a sudden, people were talking about information that was already released in, you could have found on a History Channel years ago. up late at night, 2 in the morning. History Channel, this is the stuff there, ancient aliens and the Hitler type stuff, escaping to Argentina. Well, yeah. They're trying to act like this is like, I don't know, some people are acting like this is new, I guess because they never heard of it. Maybe it's new to them, but it's definitely not new in terms of circulation and releases. But all this talked about Hitler basically escaping to South America. And that Argentina was key in that, and as other documents are showing, also Colombia. So Argentina, Colombia, the two areas he's highly suspected of going to, along with others. And look, man, this ain't no dang surprise. Anybody that's been in this truther realm, or just paying attention throughout these past few years, you had to have heard of Operation Paperclip. I mean, come on. Look at how many Nazis we brought back into this country. Are you kidding me? Look at Prescott Bush. Huh? Look at Warner von Braun. Huh? Like, come on, man. Like, everything is a lie, man. Everything is a freaking lie. And, like, this was a bit of the truth, showing you that Hitler, like, made it out of there, and that he survived, and, like, all the scientists were basically brought into America. They were. Engineers, scientists, they were all brought in. This is a fact, Jack. So, like, like, the world is a stage, man. The world is a stage. Rothschild had control of all the money in both sides of every war, and Hitler and the whole nine. So, what some people were talking about today was the fact that the details of it all, about how some of the files were confirming that the Hitler showed up and had a disfigured face and all this other stuff. And all this talk has come about because Milei of Argentina is acting like he's going to do a big release of information. And like, they don't have a JFK situation to release. They don't have an Epstein situation to release. So the closest thing they got to release is this to the public, so to speak, involving their country. And they say that it's time for transparency and all this other stuff. Anyone that would have been involved in all this other stuff's dead, yada yada. And that in many circles it's well known that this is what happened. And that they just need to clear the air so the history books can start telling the truth about what happened. But then when you find out that the fairy tale that they told you in school about how everything went down, man, you can't believe none of it. None of them. They control all of it. That's why they call them theaters of war. I'm telling you, man, better get hip to it. Okay, so Argentina says they're going to declassify Nazi archives, but others are immediately saying it's not going to happen. He's just blowing smoke. He's just blowing smoke, trying to look like Trump. But there's some rather interesting details out of this. I'm not going to play this whole clip, but I'm going to play this clip here. This guy talking about this whole thing. I might have to skip through a little bit here to find the part that I want, but I want you to listen to some of the details here as he reads it off.
Dictatorship. The promise of disclosure follows a broader global trend towards transparency, including the U.S. government's recent release of long classified files related to the assassination of President John F. Kennedy, documents that for decades were withheld from public. President Milei has ordered the publication and declassification of the archives, Franco said. These files concern Nazis who sought refuge in Argentina and were protected for many years. These are historical documents that should be accessible to the public. There is no reason to continue safeguarding that information, he added. These are archives of a part of Argentine history, and they have to be public. The move also revives a long-held claim, dismissed by mainstream historians, but not by everyone, that Adolf Hitler didn't die in Berlin in 1945, but instead fled via Spain and ended up living out his days under protection in South America. Now, the escape route nobody was supposed to talk about. Historians have documented the escape of high-profile Nazis to Argentina. Eichmann was captured by Israeli Mossad agents in Buenos Aires in 1960.
Go figure.
Mengele died decades later under a false identity in Brazil. So why wouldn't the same network that protected them also protect Hitler? That's the question Argentine journalist and author Abel Basti has spent his career trying to answer. In books like Hitler in Exile and Hitler in Argentina, Basti argues that Hitler escaped through a tunnel under Berlin to Tempelhof Airport, fled to Spain, then traveled by submarine to Argentina, where he lived with SS support and the help of sympathetic German immigrants. He cites declassified FBI reports, which I'm going to show you in a second, alleged sightings in Patagonia, and photos he claims show Hitler was with known Nazi sympathizers in Argentina. The Eden Hotel in La Falda, a hot spot for Nazi activity in the mid-20th century, is at the center of many of these claims. Basti believes Hitler stayed there with Walter and Ida Eichhorn, well-known Nazi loyalists who ran the property. U.S. intel files from the era include dozens of unverified tips about Hitler sightings across South America. Now, Malay's declassification order may allow researchers and skeptics to comb through those files firsthand. Now, the really interesting stuff. FBI document reveals escape rumors after Hitler's death. National Archives. As part of a National Archives blog titled Hunting Hitler, 2 FBI reports released in 2015 revisit mysterious rumors from 1945 suggesting Hitler escaped to Argentina.
Thank you,
One
John.
report sent from Buenos Aires on July 14th, 1945, claimed that a source of unknown reliability said Hitler was landed in Argentina approximately June 20th, that his face was disfigured, and that an Argentine army major was preparing to escort him to a secret hiding place in Chaco territory. The report added, all rumors being investigated. And here's the file right here. You can see here, declassified authority NND 32386. And if you scroll down, you see it's from Buenos Aires. You've even got a timestamp here, 11/12. German submarine landings on Argentina coast, various rumors. And then down here, where does it get to Hitler? Right here, another report received from source of unknown reliability that Hitler was landed in Argentina approximately June 20, that his face was disfigured, and that Argentine army major will escort Hitler to secret hiding place in Chaco territory. All rumors being investigated. So this is a legitimate document. This was reported even by Boston Globe, and here's the headline. Documents show FBI fielding escape rumors after Hitler's death. Here's the document they list here. So this is where I get this portion of the report from, but you can see this is in mainstream reports. This isn't something that we're making up. There was a second document dated August 14 from the FBI in Los Angeles that recounted a claim made by a Hollywood actor who said that a man at a club told him he had a tremendous problem that was bothering him. That man allegedly said he was one of 4 men who met Hitler and his party when they landed from submarines in Argentina 2.5 weeks after the fall of Berlin. Both of these documents appear in Hunting Hitler Part 7, The Search Continues, June through September 1945. authored by none other than National Archives historian Greg Bradsher. But Argentina wasn't the only one harboring Nazis. It's worth noting that Argentina was, again, not alone in sheltering Nazi officials. The United
You want to know who controlled all this? You want to know who controls it all here still today? It's all on Jesuit command. That's right. You see, all the way up to that Black Pope. What you know about that? You know about their dark, demonic circles? Where it all leads back to, even to Talmudic belief. Goes right on back to the Knights Templar. It all relates to the same thing. To the jinn. To the other side. To the spirits. It's what it all is. All the time. Every day. 24/7. And you were taught nothing of it. You remember this. You were never taught nothing of it. Keep you blind and stupid for a reason. They could have taught you some of these things. They're not so much magic. They're scientific principles. Like with polarity and all these other things. But when you are absent of the knowledge and they have it, they can control things and aspects of your life, your energy, your aura, polarity, frequencies around you, manipulate you. And you not even know what's going on. And this is part of the magic, part of the spell. They use sigils, talismans. They use all types of different forms constantly on you. Constantly. Okay? All the way down to the emblem on their flag. It's a Star of Rephaim. Okay? All these symbols, magic in nature. Okay? It's how it's always been. That's how it's always going to be. And if you lack knowledge in this area, you should sharpen it. Because this is where you're going to gain. Because once you figure this out, you figure out what they're doing, and the gate's up. And then you really realize it's all a show. You sure do. I hope you make it to this level. Some are striving to. Others are already there. Others are going to fall short because they put their faith in men, in false idols, like Gentile messiahs. And they'll believe his word over anything else, and that's dangerous. It's really dangerous. I've never seen anything like it in my life. Of course, I've never seen the Jews come out and select a man and tell the whole world that he is their Gentile messiah. They did it. They gave him a silver crown, and they got big things planned here for on his watch. Temple stuff, all of it. So, I'm going to keep it pushing. We got a man in Texas arrested. And thank you, Lord McCormick, real quick. I appreciate it. I hope all is well. We got a man arrested for dropping a social media post, and I'm not so sure that... I don't get it. Like some things you do, you just know you're going to get in trouble for, right? They seem rather obvious. Threatening to openly kill people and shoot at people. Especially the situation right now with ICE agents all over the place. Saying that you're going to shoot at them when they're in your neighborhood. Open fire on ICE agents. Man. You're just backing. I mean, these are the teams, they send the sick people. Like, you just act them on. Like, this is, this guy not too smart. Making terroristic threats against ICE. Now they got him in custody. I don't know where I come from, where I come up, like, I've seen a lot of craziness, man, but a lot of times, guys that actually did pull triggers, there was no talking about it. So we've got another crazed individual here, this time a TikToker, and that's how they've labeled him, a crazed TikToker. And you can be the judge for yourself. But again, it falls under the scope of the same thing. When you're calling, in my opinion, for violence, you're falling into like their trap here on social media. Because they're just going to come for you and make an example out of you, just like they are every single one of these dudes. Play this clip, though. I think it's important that... and, some people out there don't like Elon Musk. And they can kind of sympathize with people that don't like him. But, a lot of things in life you're going to not like. But taking things to violent levels is a whole nother animal. I'm telling you, and I don't know. I've been waiting for years for someone someone to sit in the shadows. I know that could do something about it to counter this. I'm not made of money, so I can't do it. But we need someone out there that can counter the Soros types. That can fund peaceful protest and movements. The righteous movement. It doesn't exist. It's literally non-existent because we have no righteous men with some money, I guess, to make it happen. We see it nowhere. Anyhow.
Shoot at ICE agents on site. That's right. If ICE agents are trying to take you or a loved one, shoot them on site. The way they're pulling up, with masks on, with unmarked vehicles, no badge, no nothing, it could be anybody. It can be gang members. You have every right to shoot at them. This would be the best self-defense case. You're just in fear for your life. You don't know who's behind that unmarked vehicle or who's behind that mask. This is ridiculous. What is our country coming to? Why would you want to be an ICE agent anyway? Do you like separating kids from their parents? Do you like deporting students that are studying? I can understand deporting a gang member or criminals, but innocent people, it's ridiculous. The way these ICE agents are pulling up with masks on, unmarked vehicles, they are pulling up like gang members. They are pulling up like the mafia. You might as well shoot them on sight and have your day in court. Take care, guys. Now I'm out.
Benny's about to have his day in court, right? Look, they tagged the FBI in cash. You can bet. Again, you don't think this guy ain't had a visit? Come on now. This guy calling for violence like this? This is ridiculous. Be smart out here, man. And I don't know, man. It's being telegraphed all over the place. And I don't know, that's just the latest, man, of threats out here. It's exploding when it comes to the threats going against Elon. He said the other day he's had 17,000 threats, down from 18,000. There's a group of people out there that definitely hate Elon, and some of those same people gravitate toward this new figure that's kind of taking the stage here for them. Their new hero that's locked up, which is Luigi, who killed the United Healthcare CEO. Shot him, whatever. Like, they all cling to him like he's a hero, and they'll even do these little videos where they hold up Luigi, and they mention Luigi in like the Mario game left and right, but it's in reference to him. They think they're slick, but it's like all these people. Oh yeah, and they just said they want to give him the death penalty, Luigi. So that's gonna fire up all those people. Bondi also says that there's going to be no negotiating. They caught a Tesla firebombing suspect. They hit him with federal charges. He faces 20 years in prison. This is Cooper Frederick. He's 24, faces federal charges related to the attack. Now, man, they're going to try to throw him away and lock him up, throw away the key. I think that's steep. No one was killed, things like that. But they're gonna hit him hard. Some people are young, rebellious, make mistakes. I mean, remember when I was younger? Some crazy stuff that I look back on like, man, obviously wouldn't do today, but you make poor decisions like this. It can cost you, just like this dude, 20 years. So he's not going to get out until he's, 44. He'll miss that whole chunk of life. Yeah, unless he gets out early. But he is charged as being the suspect in connection with the firebombing attack on a Tesla dealership in Loveland, Colorado. So we've seen places get hit all over the place. But these guys are getting taken down. So, I mean, I don't know, man. I do know one thing. It seems that we know who is behind all this stuff again. It's the same old, same old. That's right. First off, this Jankowicz or whatever, she was pressed on being one of the leaders tied to this whole USA thing, in this whole organization of going against Tesla, bankrupting Tesla. And then, all this Tesla stuff. The generals, they call them. She is said to be one of them. And it's one of the main organizers. And when she's pressed, who does she say is funding all their operations? Just guess. Who's always done this?
Ms. Jankowicz, your organization, the American Sunlight Project, claims to have a commitment to transparency.
I don't know if this one's going to play for me.
Apparently does not extend to disclosing its donors.
So I'm just going to tell you what it says. Well, it says it right there on the screen. George Soros. GS, yeah, Yellow Dog. Yep, Christian. The Spirit, yeah. You guys knew. It's always him. He gets away with it. How can he get away with it? What's up, Jay Neville? Stay safe out there, man. Storm's hitting in your way, brother. Here's a segment that Elon put out. This is like a warning. This is like a threatening warning, if you will. It's a segment where he's like hoping that these people are going to see this video. And they're definitely going to make an example out of this dude I just showed you. Because they're saying 20 years minimum in prison. And here's Elon speaking on all this.
The Attorney General Bondi has said the same thing. I believe that is exactly what will happen.
Do you know who they are?
We're coming for them.
Do you know who those generals are?
We know. We do.
Yes. And hopefully the prosecution will be for RICO and an organized criminal enterprise, which makes the penalties
Absolutely.
even more serious. And now to Jessica.
Yes, absolutely. These are serious crimes where the organizers and pushers of mass violence will go to prison for a very long time.
That's right. Okay.
And I hope they see this segment.
Yeah, so there you go. He gets a stern look into the camera. So Yeah, man, that one guy's definitely getting nailed. Anyone that gets taken down in this. So they know who the generals are, everybody behind this, and you can bet they're going to go after them too. So somewhere they're going to stop. Every time when it gets too close to the establishment, it stops. The trail ends. And that's how you know it's all staged. And so why are they not taking down Soros? Why is Soros not arrested? All right? He is hiring American citizens and paying them to cause chaos. That is treasonous. There's all kinds of different laws that he breaks in doing that. He's been doing it. Elon knows this. All right? Like, get him. Like, Soros should then be in jail. All of his money should be taken. His son shouldn't get none of it just to continue his crap. He's a criminal. It should be seized just like every criminal. They seize criminals stuff all the time. They bust a drug deal and all this stuff. They're busting, taking the car, taking his house, taking all this stuff. That's what they do. It's, I don't know, man. This is, it's just setting the stage to label everyday people domestic terrorists, is what I've seen. It's kind of freaky because at some point, if they just keep doing whatever they want to do, people are going to try to rise, everyday people, against something. They're not going to agree on some level about something. And when that happens, those people are just going to be labeled domestic terrorists. You open your mouth, they're going to be like, shut up, sit down. Like, or you're a domestic terrorist. At this point, they got half a damn crowd just doing that. But look, he's saying someone's going to be arrested. Remember this. Just like they're going to go show us the gold in Fort Knox, just like they're going to give us the Epstein files, he's saying someone's going to be arrested again. Okay? I believe it when I see it, right? It's one of those things. Now, they're also admitting here, though, that they've unearthed FBI chat logs that reveal that there was a gag order in terms of the whole Biden laptop thing. Like, just like they cover everything up and you know it. Just like Seth Rich, all these things. They should have all types of stuff, you ask me, with Cash Patel in there, having control and all this stuff now. But nah, and Dan Bongino in there, but it's a circus show. It's just a show. And the drone thing. Yeah. Thank you, Eon. So check this out. I just told you how they're trying to telegraph crazy stuff for people to go out there and do stuff like it's a cool thing, and they think that they're going to get away with it. But the FBI's watching all this, and everybody's stupid. They can see what's going on here. I'm going to play this clip, and this is a classic example of what a bunch of these people are doing. And again, they're putting on social media, and they're asking for a visit in these situations. Watch this.
If you're struggling with your mental health, games can be a really great way to feel better. So I'm going to show you Super Mario Checkers and Cards Against Humanity. Let's just pull out a couple of pieces at random. Oh, look, it's Luigi. Everyone loves Luigi, right? We love Luigi. So let's pull out a question card here randomly. What makes life worth living? I'm going to get Luigi, oh, he jumped there, to hold on to that card. Let's see, picking out an answer again at random. Oh, what's this one? Oh, that's awful. That is awful. It's a joke game. It's comedy, right? It's not serious.
It's just assassinating the president.
Let's pick another card. I don't like that one at all. Let's see what this one has to say. Oh.
M16 assault rifle.
Oh, that's terrible. That's just.
I don't know. Yeah, that was pretty crazy. this is what they're doing. It's like they're putting code out and they think they're slick. And thank you, Ike. Instead of just saying like they want someone to go and do something crazy to Trump, this is how they're doing it. She's basically saying she reps Luigi, and you could see what the card says: assassinating the president, M16 assault rifle. So she's telegraphing it. She didn't say it, but I mean, she's saying it, and it's rather obvious. I guess she thinks that she wasn't going to get a visit by doing it that way. Well, she's wrong. Yeah. So I got this clip here on Alec Baldwin. I'm just going to play this clip and him talking about how, in Hollywood, he's in these circles to hear, and hear things. I thought he shot somebody or was getting charged with the whole shooting happened on set, that woman getting killed and all that mysterious stuff. But he starts rambling on about this is pre-Civil War.
Something led my hand to pick up the remote and turn on my television. Sorry. And watch Ken Burns' famous miniseries. And boy, you can see now that we are in a pre-Civil War culture now. When they describe things back then politically, there are profound differences, of course, in terms of just history and age, and what life was like back then, and cotton and slavery and Lincoln and Robert E. Lee and so forth. There's just so many, this incredible story. Awful that this country had to go through that. Awful. But as a story, it's just overwhelmingly powerful and fascinating. But I look at the politics of it, of where people are in this country today, in the division, and how they're holding fast, and no one's going to falter. No one's going to break or compromise. And it's bad. It's I think in terms of that, I'm trying to stop from yawning because I'm so tired from the jet lag, but in order to, in order for us to get anywhere, it doesn't seem likely right now. And watching this show really reminded me of how we are in a very similar state now, in a pre-Civil War culture, in a pre-Civil War environment.
So, for whatever it's worth, like him or not, he's basically putting out there what I could take from it and others. He's just kind of in a weird way, like putting out there like we're in pre-Civil War. Like this is it. Like this is, if you can't see the Soros side, their new thing is sparking this whole movement, which I just told you and showed you about. BLM and all that's no longer around. Like that's the new thing. And this whole thing countering Elon and hating Elon and hating Trump is what they wanted to spark. Skeeby in the house, much love. Yeah, just put these things out there. Oh, look at this one. I don't know what's going on over in the UK. I just seen you earlier, Lord McCormick. Much love to you. Crown Jewels, Daz, all my UK cats. But man, you guys definitely got issues with your leadership. This guy is just not good. Your leader, at all. So now what are they doing there in the UK? They institute harsher criminal sentences, but only for white men. Like, how can you even do that when you've got migrant rapists and terrorists running around all over the place doing the crazy of the craziest. And you're going to make the sentences like ass backwards. There's an attack going on, and your leadership, in my opinion, is all a part of it and behind it. 1000%. It's obvious sold you out in this one. Maybe you guys are going through your moment just like our country did here with Biden or whatever. It's what it would seem like. I do believe he's a dim-leaning, left-leaning leader. Anyhow, that's just crazy. It's a racist. Gonna make a harsher crime on the white boys. A harsher punishment. It's a piece of, like, dude. I'm telling you. Alright, so I told you earlier, Trump is not joking. When he says, I want Canada, I want this, I want that. Nothing is off the table, he says, in terms of obtaining Greenland. Nothing. Yeah, so he's having absolutely real deal discussions about annexing the Danish territory of Greenland. And when he goes on about this, he's like, well, we'll get Greenland, 100%. He goes, and there's a good possibility that we could do it without military force. But he wouldn't take anything off the table. That was a bold thing to say. He's basically just nonchalantly threatened military force. He said, I'm not going to take it off the table. So he did it like in an ass backwards way. Again, it's like part of the magic there to that. But he did it. He put the threat out there. He just threatened them. He just threatened in front of the whole world in a nonchalant way. That, yeah, I'm not going to take the military force off the table. It's like, oh, we didn't even know it was on the table there, Trumpy. You know, so, like, it's like that, huh? So, yeah, they're talking about military flexing because he's doing all this under the banner of national security, that it's an emergency, that we have to do it. And in some slight ways, I can see where he's coming from with this. Like, they should at least be allied with us, but not like taking over the whole freaking country. But they should at least be allied with us. This is why I say I keep thinking a whole North American economic and military union is going to come into play. That's what they're setting the stage for. That way Canada, Greenland can keep their sovereignty, but they sign into an economic and military pact with us. That's what's about to happen. That's been the plan the whole time. In reality, it doesn't matter who it is. Like, in our country here, to protect it, you don't want Chinese and Russian ships coming just freely roaming all the way down and around Greenland. If you could stop that, that would be the smart thing to do. And if you have better relations or you're stationed, which the United States is, we have a military base in Greenland. But if you're there full force, it stops all that. It stops all them from creeping up and trying to do what China did at the Panama Canal. The United States went down there and made it. They were like, here's your Panama Canal, you know, blah, blah, blah. We left. Turn around and go back down later, check on them. Chinese then slipped up in there. Yep, that's right. Took control of everything. And Chinese slick with it. They go to all these ports. And what they'll say is this. They did it in Africa and they do it to all these places. They know these places are smaller economies and that they're hurting. So they give them like an offer they can't refuse. They say, look, we're going to let you borrow, you know, a huge sum of money that they know they can't pay back, that they know they're going to default on, billions of dollars or whatnot. And when they don't pay it back, what the whole thing is here is that in return, what they get is leasing rights to that port, like basically control that port for the next 99 years. And trust me, if anyone wants to break that after that deal's made, if anyone wants to break that deal with China, I'm sure that they'll try to come and step up militarily. like that's ours. Like you sign the contract, this is ours for the next 99 years. You know, that's why they're doing it. But Greenland, man, a critical spot. I don't see this dying down. Now look at this. Check this out. Wonder if this is all part of someone's plan here. Denmark depleted all their defenses. How they do so? Arming Ukraine. They got very little left to defend Greenland. So they don't even have nothing to defend themselves. They ran them low. And now Trump, come on, if they see this, they're hitting at a weak spot. They can't even defend themselves. So Trump now talking about military force, like, this doesn't bode well for them. Like, something's going to have to give here. So Trump is dialing back all the criticism of Putin now, after coming out just yesterday or the day before and saying that he ticked off at him. WWE stuff. And he wants to work on stuff. And now, Putin and his whole crew, or his envoy, I don't think it's going to be Putin himself, but I think it's going to be the Putin envoy. They're going to visit Washington for talks for the first time since the 2022 invasion. So he's sending a crew to talk in D.C. about all these things. And I foresee big deals coming out of this. But again, this all goes back to Zelensky. This dude's a nutcase. If you missed this, I put this in a different video that I kicked out here on this channel. Ukraine has what was a secret nuclear doomsday plan. It's like scorched earth. It's not secret anymore because one of the guys that was in on his administration, Zelensky, his top dudes, he's no longer in there. And he's basically going on these talk shows, local, and talking to the people, telling them these details. But of course, other people are seeing it, they're translating it, like, listen to what this dude's saying. Like, he's basically saying that they have a plan that's like kamikaze. That if at any point Russia looks to take over more than half the country, or a majority of the country, and I would say especially Kiev, they are going to hit the nuclear power plants. They're going to strike them. Because they say if they can't live in these lands, no one will. Pretty crazy, huh? Well, there's a whole video. It translates at the bottom. You can see off this talk show where this guy is saying all of it. Like, look, they literally have a plan that, like, if they think they're going to lose control, they're willing to kick up a nuclear mushroom cloud. And so I mentioned this, and I mentioned this like over on X and all this other stuff, and I try to say things like, you know, the Chinese rover pick, and people are like, what is he talking about? Like, man, I'm going to clear the air again. I have a video on my channel. Look up Chinese rover pick, mushroom cloud. I've done a couple videos on it by now, just to make sure people could find it. And years ago, now it's been quite a few years now, when China was launching their rover to go up to the moon, they had a display of the rover sitting out, and behind it was just this backdrop of Earth from space. This is cool, like, backdrop from like space. You could see Earth. Well, when you paid attention, like, I just got always observe detail. Instead of looking at the rover, I'm looking at this back thing. It's like screaming at me. Something's screaming at me, and I look, and I zoom in. I'm like, is that a mushroom cloud that I really just find nonchalantly hidden in this beautiful picture of Earth from space as they're promoting a rover pick, a freaking mushroom cloud? And only one coming up from off the planet in this whole thing. Mind you, you can only see a certain part of the planet. So I go, like, where is this at? I zoom in, I get the pattern. And I come to find out, it's right there. This mushroom cloud is going off between Ukraine and Moscow. It's like right there on the planet. That's where you boil it down to. You zero it down to. That's where it is at. I'm telling you now, it's in the cards. Why would they do that? Why would they ever do that? Because they got to tell you in advance. It's part of the rules to the game. I'm going to tell you, there's been several attacks there, big attacks, where I've thought, hey, this could have been the mushroom cloud. But now, coming up on the end game here, knowing that at what it's shaping up like now, this nutcase will hit anywhere. And don't tell me he won't. Don't tell me he won't, because he just did here recently. He hit 2 different places, Zaporizhia, and then he hit the containment shell on Chernobyl and broke through it with drones. That's how stupid they are. So you can't tell me that they won't do it. They've already done it. They've already started it. So, like, people can say, oh, that never happened. It's already happened. Go stick your head back in the sand, fools. Like, any day now, like I just said, they telegraphed a huge mushroom cloud for a reason. And let me tell you, like, that'll change some things. Germany, they're the next one going for their people. This disgusts me. We've watched Ukraine send all their people to the front line to get mauled. Now Germany's willing to do it. They're willing to conscript young people to take up arms so they can send them to Ukraine and get slaughtered. It's sickening. UK trying to do it. France trying to do it. This is disgusting. This whole genocidal war machine, can't you see it for what it is? I mean, in Ukraine, broad daylight, dudes are rolling around in vans and springing out, running over dudes on bikes, knocking them off their bikes. Military-age men that they see out in the broad daylight, and take them out, and like kidnap them. That's wrong. It's just wrong. It's just wrong, man. Like, the whole thing's been wrong. I almost see no more of these young people just get slaughtered, but it seems like that's what they want. We've come up on a time here where AI and robots are literally here to replace us. So they have not a problem with just, it seems, killing us any way they can. I'm going to keep it going here. Iran said to be weakened by over 200 U.S. strikes on the Houthis. This is per the White House. Apparently they're over there pounding them. It's not making huge headlines, but they're doing it. 200 strikes on targets in Yemen. But I'm telling you, they say these things, and then when we see what they really hit on the ground, all too often it's civilians. It's happening time and time again. And you know Israel is just, they're all too good at that. Okay? Houthis say they've downed 16 Reaper drones after Trump has warned the real pain is yet to come. So there's more to come after they've already hammered them. So don't think that we're going unscathed. These guys have found a way to take the Reaper drones out of the sky. I would take notes. Talk about something vital you might need to train your loved ones on doing if they want to survive into the future against this beast when they're crisscrossing this country looking for you. Because that's what's coming. It's already begun. They've been running signet missions and drones and all this other stuff down at the border, and they're crisscrossing not only over into Mexico, but all into our states, into the southern parts And it's begun. Military drones all over the place down at that border. So they're in southern Texas, southern Arizona, southern New Mexico, all those states, southern regions. And this is how it begins. Next thing you know, down there at the border, they're having problems. The drones they have eyeballing El Paso, guess what? There's stuff going on up in Houston. We'll fly on up in Houston and scope out and see what's going on up there. Then all of a sudden they're doing runs up to Houston and back down. And this is how it spreads. And this how, I mean, all they had to do is get a green light once. And it begins. And it is. There's a war in this country right now at our border. And people are sleeping on it. Again, I attribute the whole thing to black magic. Right at the gate, he said that we were in a state of emergency and declared it because of the border. But there was no action to come with it. There was no war images coming from our border. There's just none of it is there. They dried up the people coming through pretty good. But the military setup, you can see the images of that. And they're set up strong. They haven't begun to pound them. They're going to start pounding here at any time. And it's going to be a game changer. I think when they really start pounding the hell out of people in cartels right across the border here at any time, when it really kicks up, because we got warships off the coast down there now, coming up in Baja. Like, this is real deal. It's a real deal large military operation. Again, people sleeping on it. It's all known in the wide open. They're still there snoring on it. It's black magic on the whole crowd that the Grand Wizard's done. I'm telling you. Left and right, every time we turn around. Every major topic and issue, just snoozing on. Instead of talking about and discussing these hot topics, major topics, they'll be carrying on over on X like a Thai school about something else, something stupid. It's pathetic. So Israel continues doing what they do all the time, 24/7, dropping bombs. And this time it's on Beirut. Took out, not shockingly, a bunch of bystanders just to try to take out one Hezbollah official. It didn't matter. If that dude walked in the building, they're downing it. Everybody in it's dying. Do you see how they operate? There is no stopping and caring about any life that's there. This is beyond ridiculous, and the silence on it is sickening. I will say, by and large, a ton of people out there now hip and see to where the evil is. The problem is even though half the crowd sees this, they're not saying nothing. They're just sitting there keeping their mouth shut because they're too far into this, dedicated to Trump. And that whole side voted for him on the Trump train, all this other stuff, in the cliques and the groups. They feel special. Feel like they'll be turning on the gang, right? I mean, that's what it boils down to. And some of these people out here, it makes me sick. They're all about their ego. It's all about rock star status every day. And all these tweets and attention on all of it, instead of talking about real issues. I took the people that took an oath to serve and protect this place. And I don't know, man. It's sickening. You wonder why we're not getting anywhere? Because the majority, from what I could tell, of the patriots that I see gravitated toward Trump, and they are in this, whatever you want to call it, that's under Trump, okay? And it really takes away from having, like we used to have, militias independently in every state flexing large scale and doing it proudly. We need that. We need to see it back. We need to see it full scale, proudly. And not only dumbness, not out there doing anything stupid, but just coming together in a peaceful manner. The power is in your numbers, but we just need to see something. I would like to see something out there to support the people. It's not politicized. It's just a militia movement that just is there for the people. Turkey is moving into Syria. So now, Syria is about to just get torn to shreds. It's already getting pounded by Israel. It's already getting pounded by different factions left and right in there. People getting slaughtered. All the Christians in there just getting mowed down. Where's Trump and all them on that? Not a word about it. Remember, that's Mr. Albert's going to go in Gaza and clean it out. Okay, again, where are you guys on these key conversations? Nowhere. You're nowhere to be found. Your silence is deafening. It's getting old. It's getting old real quick. I applaud those of you that admit that you made a mistake, that you fell for things. Because I've had quite a few of you say that here recently. And I commend you. I thank you for admitting the truth. You're awakening. Truly, you see it for what it is now. And welcome to the next level. It takes some time. But the quicker you get there, the better, right? But it's good to see that some people are hip to all the theatrics that's going on. They're waking up to it. And some are admitting it. So I applaud you, again, because others just will not do that. They're playing this thing like a fiddle all day long. It makes me sick. Guys I used to even rep, I won't even mention their names no more because they've turned to such Trump tards. The sellouts. It's pure, it's like it's high school in their channels anymore. It's like nothing critical is ever talked about or ever shared or anything else. It's about them, their egos, rubbing elbows, taking pictures of people. That whole movement, it's like all it's about. Jock riding each other. It's just ridiculous. It's sickening. It's disgusting. It's deteriorated the real patriot movement. Some of these people turn around and try to come to me like, yeah, I know it's all a show, but then I'm like, what are you doing? Then why are you feeding right back into it? To make money? That's even more sickening. You're just using the movement to make money. It's pathetic. Pathetic. So China holds huge military drills. And while we've got 1 million Chinese here, I try to get someone to train us, and I can't even do it. Nope. You can't even find no one that's got military knowledge that will take the time to even start training people. That's why I just told you we need militias. We need something to counter the enemy that's in here. And look, they know this. They hear this all the time. They're not that stupid, I don't think. But they just sleep on it. They heard the Chinese are here. They can hear it right now. What are you going to do about it? They don't care. They just don't care. They don't care that they were trained to kill and they took an oath to serve and protect this place against threats foreign and domestic. That just goes out the window. And they know that all the corruption is sitting there in D.C. They know that there's an establishment. They know it. But what? They turn around back, yeah, I know, Elon and all this stuff is a puppet show. And all this, oh yeah, but you go right back on social media playing into the whole thing. It's, oh gosh, man. That's why I feel like we really don't have a hope. Really. Like, you show me where the group is, where the hope is. I like to think we're that hope, the last bastion of it. But like, Joshua, thank you. We're literally a remnant. Literally a remnant. As it's called biblically. What's going to happen? World War III pops off. I guess everything that you ever thought is possible. China is surrounding Taiwan. They've done this a couple times, but I'm telling you, it's going to go live here anytime. And if you don't know, reps are out there saying that they're going to invade Taiwan by 2027. This is a known and open thing. If you don't know, like, it's openly known, they have a doctrine that they want to unify by 2027. So they've surrounded Taiwan several times, clamped down on the strait, just like they just did past couple days. One of these times, I'm telling you, it's going to go live. They're trying to create the illusion that they're throwing all these drills out there, and it's one of them. They're going live. They're putting out all this propaganda that you're going to catch and basically take out their leader there in Taiwan. if you don't know how this whole thing came about, basically, decades ago, when the Civil War was basically ongoing in China, the CCP and all of them were battling a different faction. That other faction lost and they retreated out to Taiwan. And CCP never was able to basically have that full control of it or unify like they're calling for now. The whole place. I think it's going to happen. I'd buckle up, because if you think trade or anything like that's bad now, when this happens, I think it's just going to go bananas, and not in a good way. And they're also stating that we are in this nuclear fusion race with none other than China, the United States and China. So it's us and them out here on the world stage. And when they've got all of BRICS, including Russia, on their side militarily, it's a formidable force. And there's a reason why. I mean, with the United States pulling away from NATO and Europe and all that, I mean, what does that signal to you? Like, we're about to connect with Russia. I'm telling you. It has to happen. But it seems like Europe wants war. Like, before they're going to let that happen, they'll let nukes fly. Before, like, they'll see the United States and Russia team up. Because they realize, I mean, everybody should realize this. When they team up, nobody can stop them. And I think it's one of China's biggest fears. And Russia seems to be going out of their way here recently to rebuff. Even some of the headlines here today were saying China and Russia rebuffing military ties and all this stuff. Basically, I don't know what's rebuffing. This is basically calling up and checking on each other and just being, don't sweat it. Like, still got your back over theirs, basically. But is that the case? This world is a stage, man. And as I said last time, it would have worked to the United States' benefit, huge, and Russia's, to rug pull China at some point. Because if not, China will turn on Russia. I just see it. They'll turn on anybody. I see them as that type. This is a country that once Rothschild got in there and got control, Mao got in control, they took the guns from all the Chinese people and murdered them. Maybe forgot about this. Lined them up in ditches and just started dropping bodies. That's the Chinese government you dealing with. Right? In case you forgot. These people don't care. They don't believe in Jesus. And that's what's scary. These guys are here en masse. The Chinese are. And ain't no one want to talk about it. I smell setup. I'm yelling setup. It smells like, again, like 9/11-ish. They know they're here. They let them in like a Trojan horse. Let them in. And then they're just going to come out. What happens when they just come out? Or are they just going to, hit critical infrastructure, certain things like that? Do they even have to come out and like start slicing throats and shooting people or anything like that? They could just start hitting critical things. They're already embedded. Christopher Wray warned us and told us the Chinese are in everything. That was his last words on the way out the door. I smell setup. This is setup. New administration. I think something can happen very soon, like anytime. Anytime. Because this administration's going to be like, we didn't even have enough time to get in there and to figure all this out. That's going to be their excuse. You see, if it happens way later, that excuse is not on the table no more. If they do these events sooner than later, they can still say, well, like it takes time. Like there's no way. We were going through all the JFK and we were busy with the Epstein and we were busy with all these things and we just couldn't get to it. Puppet show. Anyhow, we're coming up into the show here. I'll give some final thoughts. And I want to check back in before we shut it down for the night. We'll get some final thoughts, and we'll check back in here on some of the weather events. Make sure we ain't got no devastating news dropping here. The main thing here. Everyone to be safe throughout the night. Okay, they have... so it looks like the top of the storm line is rolling in on Toledo, Ohio. Lima. Major storm systems is rolling through Fort Wayne, Indiana. And this is heading right up toward the Great Lakes. It doesn't... it's going northeast. This may be heading right toward Cleveland. I mean, Cleveland, you're bound to get clipped. Hoodie Ross, fam, everybody out there. I know you said that you were getting hit with rain, and you said that it was going to rain for 3 days. Well, it looks like this is the system, and if it was already raining there earlier, I know it was, because I seen you posting clips driving. Buckle up. This is what they were warning about. So if it wasn't the high winds or the tornadoes you had to worry about at this point, what I'm seeing on the feeds here is just a lot of lightning and a lot of rain. Some areas they're saying it's been hit with catastrophic rain. So there's catastrophic flooding. We're not going to see the video or be able to see really any of that until morning. I can't stress enough, the scariest things that are out there with this weather is tornadoes at night. There are severe thunderstorm warnings all over the place when I'm looking at the map right now. I mean, the whole line. You might as well just say the whole entire storm system is severe at this point. Again, 26 to 28 tornadoes earlier. Oh my gosh. There is a creepy, crazy one here. Oh man, I gotta share this. I gotta pull this back up on the screen. This is what you never, ever, ever... I take it back. You never want to see this, but rather to see it than not see it, right? Look at that. This is a tornado at night. Look at it right there. When the lightning lights up, you can see this monster creeping, coming into town on the horizon. As the lightning flashes every time, you can see its structure. Look at that. Coming through. Coming right toward them. Coming right toward the town. Man, oh man. Y'all, you've got to be safe out there tonight, man. Because these tornadoes are on the ground right now. They're saying this was spotted Indianapolis, Indiana, 116th and College Street. This is coming up on downtown. Indiana has the flats up there, man. This storm system can drop a lot of these tornadoes on those flats. Even stretching over into Ohio there. The flats. So, severe T-storm warning for northern Kentucky, Cincinnati area. They're saying seek shelter now. If you're in any of those areas in the highlighted area, this is for all of northern Kentucky, the greater Cincinnati area, the tri-state area of Ohio, Kentucky, Indiana. Huge storm warning. Wind speed right now, 60 mile an hour. It's just a storm. This is not counting any tornadoes or tornado warnings. Hail dropping at about 3/4 of an inch. The areas of Decatur, Henry, and Rush counties in Indiana, you are under severe warning threat right now with possible tornado signatures in the area. Wind speeds right now up to 75 miles an hour. And this goes on in your area throughout the next hour. So all those areas, major storm line crossing through that section. Again, a ton of damage is being reported in all these states where I was saying earlier, tornadoes came down. A ton of damage being reported. Just stick to the feed tonight, man. X, I'm going to tweet out as much as possible. Any updates? Man. Just stay safe, man. Seeing those nighttime tornadoes, not good, man. I will not be live Friday. Something I've got to remind everybody. Unless it's like absolute emergency, I have to. I'll be back Monday. That's the plan. So Friday I will not be too busy of a schedule that day. Too much going on. Plus here, I don't even know what's going on with the weather on top of everything else that I got to be doing. So Friday night I don't look to be live. It's probably going to be an impossible thing. So if I do pop on live, surprise, surprise, I do look to be dropping videos as much as possible on this channel. So stay tuned to my channel every day. I've been popping off videos on something that's going on. And I'll be back Monday. As I always say, if the Lord doesn't return in the coming days, I'll see you here next time for Underground World News Live. Much love and God bless y'all. Check the email real quick, get some shout outs. Hey, Randy Church, thank you for the PayPal. Appreciate it. Sheepdog, much love. Thank you again, Lindsay, Boomer, Cash, Legendary, John. I appreciate all the love and support. As always. And the legendary Eon checking in. God bless you, man. Thank you so much for always being there. I can't thank you enough, man. D White, all the mods, all the crew. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for all the prayers. Thank you for all the support from everybody out there. Make sure to follow me on X again. There are links in the description for everyone asking me for links to the underground, to the underground project and all that. There are links in the description for everything. So, much love.